When most people in the West hear the word Islam, their minds usually jump to a specific set of images: deserts, camels, and the Middle East. They assume that to be Muslim is to be Arab, and to be Arab is to be Muslim. But those two words describe different identities. Arab refers to a specific ethno-linguistic group of people who identify with Arabic culture. Muslim describes anyone who practices the religion of Islam. This global diagram puts the real numbers into perspective. Out of roughly 2 billion Muslims in the world today, fewer than 20% are Arab. The remaining 80% are entirely distinct from the Middle East. Confusing a localized ethnicity with a global faith creates a blind spot. It obscures a population across Europe, Africa, the Americas, and deep into Asia. To find the actual geographic center of the Islamic world, you have to look east. This data map shows the global distribution of the religion, and here in the Asia-Pacific region, you'll find 62% of the entire Muslim population. If we rank countries by their total number of Muslim citizens, the top 4 are Indonesia, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. All 4 are located entirely outside the Arab world. In places like Indonesia, the faith has functioned as a component of local civic and political identity for generations. In South Asia, communities are massive. Hundreds of millions gather in regional hubs that match or exceed the total populations of entire Middle Eastern nations. When millions travel to the faith's historical birthplace for pilgrimage, the crowds are dominated by nationalities from Central Asia, Africa, and the Far East. This raises a historical question. This is a belief system that originated 1,400 years ago in the localized, tribal environment of the Arabian Desert. How did it successfully integrate the globe's diverse ethnicities? The answer lies in how the religion diagnoses human prejudice. From an Islamic ethical perspective, racism is categorized as a severe spiritual disease known as kibr, or arrogance. The theology traces this disease back to the dawn of creation. According to the Qur'an, when God created the first human, Adam, he commanded the angels and Satan to prostrate before him. Satan refused. When questioned about his defiance, Satan argued that his physical composition made him inherently superior. He claimed his origin from fire made him better than a being constructed from humble clay. That belief, that physical traits grant superiority over others, is framed as the original sin. Any ideology of racial superiority is treated as a human repetition of that same arrogance, a moral pattern that distorts equality. To counter this, the Qur'an rejects biological ranking. It establishes that every person on Earth shares a single equal point of origin. It addresses the reality of different tribes and nations directly in chapter 49, verse 13. The text states that humanity was divided into various groups specifically so they could know one another, rather than to conquer or exploit each other. Another passage focuses on the immense variety of human languages and the wide spectrum of skin colors. It declares those linguistic and biological variations to be deliberate signs of divine wisdom. They are intentional features of creation, rejected as metrics for judging a person's value. By framing diversity as divinely ordained, the theology provides a blueprint for followers to view cultural differences as opportunities for mutual respect. These philosophical teachings reached a historical climax over 14 centuries ago, during the Prophet Muhammad's final public address. He delivered his farewell sermon to a massive crowd of early believers, using the occasion to introduce radical social reforms. Speaking to his followers, he declared that an Arab possesses no superiority over a non-Arab, and a non-Arab possesses no superiority over an Arab. He then stated that a white person holds no superiority over a black person, and a black person holds no superiority over a white person. In a society where lineage and tribal pride defined a person's standing, these words shifted the criteria of respect. It established a standard of equality that helped transform the entrenched hierarchies of the era. Under this system, the only metric of human value is taqwa, a person's internal righteousness and moral conduct. Because belonging relied on moral character rather than ethnicity, the faith moved outward, adopting the local architecture and aesthetic traditions of the cultures it reached. It became integrated into the daily routines and urban landscapes of societies thousands of miles away from its Middle Eastern origins. The current demographic reality is a consequence of the religion's original objective. Its global diversity followed directly from a theology that categorized racial superiority as a moral deviation.